Good day everyone, this is Bok and I will be the one to discuss about the very definition of fascism. So first, what is fascism? It is an authoritarian and nationalistic right-wing system of government and social organization. So nabanggit dito yung word ng authoritarian. So familiar naman na tayo sa salitang ito. So meaning may pagka-autocratic yung klase ng pamumuno ng bansa na may mukha ng pasismo. Nabanggit dito yung nationalistic right-wing system ng gobyerno. Ito lang yung kabaliktaran ng left-wing system na may pagka-liberalistiko yung klase ng paniniwala ng ideolohiya na meron ito kumpara sa right-wing system na mas nagre-rely sa mas na-establish ng batas o institution, usually sa traditional conservatism and monarchism. And sa etymological definition, it came from Italian word fascio, meaning bundle or political group. Hindi na tayo nagtataka bakit Italian word yung nabanggit dito kasi it came from Italy. Mas mababanggit ito sa discussion ng presenter po namin na magdi-discuss about the history of fascism. So, yun lamang po and maraming pong salamat.
So, ang i-report ko po ay ang significance ng fascism. So, ang unang significance ng fascism ay ang focus on economic difficulties. So, why economic? Siguro, alam naman natin lahat na pagdating sa business or when it comes to economic, lahat ng mga bansa ay naglalaban-laban. Siyempre, bakit sila naglalaban-laban? Para mas umangat sila. So, parang sa fascism, kumbaga, main characteristic ng fascism or let's say, ang fascism ay mas accurate o mas maunlad sa kanila pagdating sa economic. Kasi bakit ayun yung mas accurate at mas maunlad? Kasi yun yung priority nila. So the second is the extreme militaristic nationalism. So why extreme militaristic nationalism? So parang ang kahalagahan nito sa fascism ay para ma anti anti-government or terrorist. Parang kasi sa kanila, kumbaga, mas importante kasi mas importante sa kanila yung, ang tawag nito, yung kapakanan ng mga nasasakupan nila or ang kanilang constituent. So kasi ang gusto kasi nila sa bansa kasi nila is disiplinado. So parang kaya militaristic. Parang sa country kasi nila, hindi sila yung tipo na parang basta na lang country, unlike sa iba na parang sa kanila kasi na parang may palatandaan sila na ay parang fascism to kasi ganito sila sa kanilang government, sobrang higpit nila. Parang hindi lang yung basta-basta na may nabasa pa ko na parang hindi lang basta-basta sila parang mga nagmamarch gano'n. Yung parang di lang, parang pag nakadamit sila, ay, sundalo to, ganyan-ganyan. Pero parang mayroon silang parang, kumbaga, code or basta kung ano man yun na parang ma-identify mo agad na, ay, ito yung military nila. So, yung last naman is armed conflict. So, bakit armed conflict? Gaya dun sa binanggit ko kanina. Kasi, di ba, yung dun nga sa may extreme militaristic nationalism, di ba sabi doon na parang mahigpit sila sa pagdating sa government nila. So yung dito naman sa may armed conflict, papasok doon yung mga kagamitan nila, yung parang bakit napasama siya sa significance na nakita ko kasi na parang sa fascism, kumbaga kung aano sila sa may isang gulo or something like na gera na parang, syempre, hindi naman basta-basta na parang, sige, susugod tayo, ganito, ganyan. Kaya sa fascism, ang kagandahan kasi dito ay hindi sila yung basta-basta na nagsusugod na walang dalang kung ano man. Sa kanila kasi, ano sila, well-equipped sila na parang lahat meron sila na parang hindi sila, ano ba yan, parang hindi sila pupunta sa isang gulo na alam nila na talo sila.
So ngayon, i-discuss natin yung history of fascism. Fascism in Italy noong 1915. Mussolini ousted from the Socialist Party and he decided to start his own group called the Fasci di Azione Rivoluzionaria. But it was often referred as the Milan Fascio. Ngayon, ano ba yung Milan Fascio? Yung Milan Fascio is a group of strongly nationalists that was pro-entering the war. Ngayon yung Italy eventually nakapasok siya sa war, but hindi yun dahil sa group na binuo ni Benito Mussolini. Ngayon, ba't natin minimension to? Kasi during this time nakikita na yung very strong nationalist tendency ni Benito Mussolini. So ngayon, si Mussolini, he enters the war during that time and nag-exit siya noong 1919. So noong 1919, he decided to reorganize or to start leading group again, and he calls it the Fasci di Combattimento or the League of Combatants. But yung party na yun is not even a formal party nung time na yun. Siguro it's about 200 individuals lang during that time. And what unifies them is a strongly anti-socialist ideology and a strongly nationalist ideology. So ngayon, para maintindihan natin kung paano ba nabuo yung strong anti-socialist ideology. Ngayon, 'di ba the Russian Empire fell during World War I, and it was run by the communists nung nag-fail nga ng World War I. Ngayon, may takot sila na mag-spread yon hanggang sa Europe. Then that time, meron na kasing Italian Socialist Party. Yun nga yung left-leaning government. So there is a desire to react against the seeming spread of socialism or of communism. Kaya nga nabuo yung group na anti-socialist and the anti-left-leaning government. So ngayon, sa black shirts naman, itong black shirts na to, isa siyang paramilitary that going to arise. Then in 1921, the group that Mussolini led was morphed into a real national party, and they renamed themselves the National Fascist Party. So nung na nga yun, mabilis na nag-grow yung influence na nagagawa ni Mussolini. So sa 2 years pa lang ngayon, makikita natin na mabilis nga sila nag-a-ascend. So si Mussolini is a leading figure during that time nung nabuo yung National Fascist Party, at he elected to the Chamber of Deputies. Ngayon, nung 1922, yung mga tao is hindi sila happy dun sa sa left-leaning government. Sinasabi nila na yung bansa daw nila hindi na napapatakbo ng ayos. Ngayon, yung fascist ay nagkakaroon sila ng more power. So, nung October 1922 din, naisip nila yung March on Rome. Kailan naisip yun? To demand stronger governments. So, nasa 200,000 individuals yung dumalo dun sa March on Rome na yun. And this essentially caused the current government to oust the Prime Minister. And yung king is inappoint niya si Mussolini as the Prime Minister. Then yung noong 1924 naman, the socialist backlash was suppressed. Ngayon, noong 1924 kasi, noong time na yun, parang nagiging dictator na talaga si Mussolini, kaya pinaban niya na yung mga socialist party dun sa Italy. Then 1925, fascist state was officially proclaimed with Mussolini as Il Duce, or the leader. So during this time, Mussolini was the absolute dictator of Italy, and with fascists, they would proceed to consolidate more and more power, and they would use the threat of force to gain more power. At dun din nila pinaban yung iba pang mga party dun sa Italy, hindi lang yung socialist party. Then nung 1936, pero noong 1925, noong 1936, may mga iba pa nangyari. Is na doon yung nangyari dun sa brutal invasion of Ethiopia. Then noong 1936, Mussolini joined Nazi leader Adolf Hitler in his support of Francisco Franco's nationalist forces in the Spanish Civil War, prompting the signing of a treaty of cooperation in foreign policy between Italy and Nazi Germany in 1937. Although Adolf Hitler's Nazi revolution was modeled after the rise of Mussolini and the Italian Fascist Party, Fascist Italy and Il Duce proved overwhelming the weaker partner in the Berlin-Rome axis during World War II. Then, in July 1943, the failure of Italian war effort and the imminent invasion of Italian mainland by the Allies led to a rebellion within a fascist party. 2 days after the fall of Palermo on July 24, the fascist Grand Council rejected the policy dictated by Hitler through Mussolini. And on July 25, si Mussolini was arrested. Ngayon, the fascist Marshal Pietro Badoglio took over the reins of the Italian government. And in September, Italy surrendered unconditionally to the Allies. 8 days later, German commandos freed Mussolini from his prison in the Abruzzi Mountains, and he was later made the puppet leader of German-controlled northern Italy with the collapse of Nazi Germany in April 1945. In 1945, Mussolini was captured by Italian partisans, and on April 29 was executed by firing squad with his mistress Clara Petacci after a brief court-martial. So yun nga yung kay Benito Mussolini. So ngayon naman po, punta naman po tayo kay Adolf Hitler. So Adolf Hitler is a German politician and leader of Nazi Party sa fascism in Germany. Noong 1919, si Adolf Hitler joined as a member ng German Workers' Party. Then in 1920 naman po, Hitler became the head of the party. He renamed it the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party. Despite the reference to socialism and workers in the party's name, Hitler promoted National Socialism as the complete opposite of socialism and communism. He promoted it as an ideology devoted to advancing the welfare and power of the German folk. So, yung the Nazi Party was a small fringe party in Germany in the early 1920s. In November 1923 naman po, the Nazis staged their own coup attempt known as the Munich Beer Hall Putsch. Ngayon, na-inspired si Adolf Hitler na gawin to kay Benito Mussolini. Dun sa ginawa ni Benito Mussolini dun sa March on Rome. Dun po siya na-inspired na gawin to. Ngayon, the coup began at the Burger Brokeller in Munich. The Nazi planned to seize control of the Bavarian state government before marching on Berlin to overthrow the Weimar Republic. They intended to establish a new state based on unification of the German people as envisioned in the 25 points. Pero unlike dun sa March on Rome ni Benito Mussolini, si Adolf Hitler hindi siya nag-succeed dito. Nag-fail siya dito sa ginawa niyang Munich Beer Hall Putsch. Si Hitler was arrested and sentenced to 5 years in jail. Though he served only 8 months dun sa jail. Following Hitler's release from jail in 1924, the Nazi Party chose to pursue political power through the elections. Tapos dun sa Nazi putting fascism into practice. In January 1933, Hitler became Chancellor. He moved to dismantle the Weimar Republic and build the fascist single-party Third Reich. Following a series of legal, political, and propaganda maneuvers, the German Reichstag passed the Enabling Act on March 24, 1933. The Enabling Act became the cornerstone of Hitler's dictatorship and destroyed parliamentary democracy in Germany. It allowed Hitler to enact laws without the approval of parliament or Reich President von Hindenburg. By July 1933, Hitler had banned all political parties other than the Nazi Party. Having achieved total control over Germany, Hitler and the Nazi Party began to implement other aspects of the fascist agenda. They began with the effort to create the ideal German national community defined along racial lines. This effort was a two-part process. First, it entailed uniting all ethnic Germans in a single German state. Second, it excluded all minorities already within the German state who did not belong in the national community, especially Jews. Then in 1933, Germany annexed Austria in the Anschluss. The Anschluss created the Greater German state. Many German nationalists had dreamed of since 1848. A few months later, Germany seized the Sudetenland region of Czechoslovakia with the tacit permission of the Munich Agreement. When World War II began in September 1939, One of the Nazis' central war aims was to expand Germany's territorial boundaries and influence so that all ethnic Germans could be together, and the Germany would have the living space that the Nazi believed necessary for the nation to survive and grow. Then the Nazi framed World War II is the ultimate struggle for the survival of the German Volk. They used the war to justify the both radical measurement against both internal and alien enemies, including murdering mentally and physically disabled Germans and exterminating all the Jews in Europe. Then after the war was over, Hitler, Hitler killed himself in 1945. So, yun nga po yung history ng fascism kay Benito Mussolini and Adolf Hitler. Mas kilala yung pangalan nila when it comes to history of fascism. So yun, though si Benito Mussolini and si Adolf Hitler yung naging pinakasikat when it comes to history of fascism. Merong other fascist leader between 1920 and 1945. Nandiyan si Engelbert Dollfuss noong 1932 to 1934. After being named Chancellor of Austria in 1932, he had no intention of ending the democracy until he was convinced fascism was necessary for the future of the country. No 1932 to 1968 naman, Antonio de Oliveira Salazar joined the National Union in Portugal and ruled for nearly 4 decades. And in 1935 to 1945 in Belgium, the Rexist Party had success in winning many parliament seats under the leadership of Leon Degrelle. In 1937 to 1938 naman, the French Cross of Fire was the biggest and fastest growing right-wing party in France in the late 1930s. Then in 1941 to 1944, Prime Minister Hideki Tojo in Japan rose through military ranks and ultimately became famous as the leader who gave the order for the Pearl Harbor attack in the US. So, yun lang po. Thank you.
So, ayun, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Matapos natin alamin kung ano ang fascism at kung ano ang history ng fascism, narito naman ang 14 characteristic ng fascism. Unang-una is yung powerful and continuing nationalism. Dito, makikita mo yung mga slogans, logos, at makikita mo yung mga flags nila. Dapat, nagagamit nila ito at nakikita mo sa pampublikong lugar. Halimbawa na lamang dito yung paglagay nila ng flags na logo dito sa damit nila. Pangalawa is yung disregard for human rights. Sa disregard for human rights is, bakit nga ba sinabing disregard for human rights? Kung dito sa Pilipinas is hindi dinidisregard ang human rights. Sa isang bansang fascist or may government na fascist is kaya nila dinisregard yung human rights is dahil sa takot sila sa mga kalaban at yung sinasabi nilang needs nila ng seguridad. At ang mga fascist people is kinumbinsi yung government na alisin nga ang human rights. Dahil sa pagkukumbinsi nila is nagkaroon ng resulta ito na magkaroon ng torture, executions, and assassinations. At ganun din yung pagkabilanggo ng matagal sa mga lumabag na batas sa kanila. And pangatlo is identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Dito, yung mga mga fascist people is nakarely na sila sa patriotic frenzy para nga ma-eliminate nila yung mga pinanghihinalaan nilang kalaban or enemy, at ginamit nila is yung racial, ethnic, religious minorities, liberal, communist, and socialist, tsaka terrorist. Pang-apat, it's the supremacy of military is narito yung kahit na laganap yung suliranin nila sa pangtahanan, ang mga militar ay binibigyan ng hindi katimbang ng pondo ng gobyerno. Iba yung pondo ng gobyerno, mas mataas ang pondo ng gobyerno kaysa sa militar. Pag ikaw ay nasa isang militar, hindi ka tumbas ng pera na binibigay sa iyo, yung katumba na pera na binibigay ng gobyerno sa isang nagtatrabaho sa government. So, ang sunod is yung panglima is widespread sexism. So, widespread sexism is kapag nasa isa kang country ng fascism o may government na fascism o fascist countries, yung posibilidad ng eksklusibong dominado ng mga lalaki as mataas. At saka yung sa isang fascist regime, yung mga traditional na pangkasarian is hindi nila dito ina-allowed at hinihigpitan nila dito pag ikaw ay nasa isang fascist countries. At dito na din na kapag ikaw ay nasa isang fascist countries, mataas yung rate ng mga oposisyon patungkol sa pagpapalaglag at yung mga about sa anti-gay na batas. Pang-anim is yung controlled mass media. Alam naman natin kung ano ibig sabihin ng controlled mass media pag ikaw ay nasa isang authoritarian system. Dahil ang fascism is isang authoritarian system. Dito is yung direktang controlled ng gobyerno yung media. Bakit? Kasi nagiging dahilan nito na laban sa ng mga kalaban sa kanila. Kumbaga, dito laganap yung pag-censor ng mga informasyon. Meron din minsan hindi direktang kinokontrol ng gobyerno yung media. Siguro sa kadahilanan na hindi naman ito informasyon patungkol sa government. Pang-pito is yung obsession with national security. Dito sa obsession with national security, ginagamit nila yung takot ng isang mamamayan or isang fascist people or gobyerno, na ginagamit nila ito bilang motivational tool. Pangwalo is yung religion and government are intertwined. Kung dito sa Pilipinas is yung religion tsaka yung government is magkahiwalay ang batas, magkahiwalay ang paniniwala. Dito sa isang fascist countries, magkarugtong ang religion at ang government. Bakit? Kasi yung religion yung nagiging dahilan or nagiging tool nila para manipulahin yung opinion ng pampubliko. Pang-siyam is yung corporate power is protected. So, ayun nga. Yung sunod is yung corporate power is protected. Bakit corporate power is protected? Dito, sa corporate power is protected, yung industriya daw yung tumutulong sa mga gobyerno, ng mga pinuno, tumutulong sa kanila. At yung government is pinoprotektahan nila ang isang industriya dahil sila ang nakakatulong dito sa mga posisyon nila. Pang-10 is yung labor power is suppressed. Bakit labor power is suppressed? Dahil yung mga organisasyon na pang labor union, nagiging banta ito para sa kanila sa isang fascist government, at matindi nila itong pinipigilan. Hindi nila ina-allowed yung labor union kasi nagiging dahilan daw ito ng banta sa kanila. 11 is disrespect for intellectual and the arts. Bakit disrespect for intellectual and the arts? Dito, nakapaloob dito is yun nga yung sinabi ko, yung control nila yung mass media. Dito, sinasensor din nila yung mga patungkol sa larangan nga sa edukasyon at sining. Alam din ng mga professor na ganun yung ginagawa ng government sa kanila, pero patuloy pa rin nila itong ginagawa. At saka hindi sinusuportahan ng gobyerno o hindi nila binibigyan ng pondo yung edukasyon at sining. Pang 12 is yung obsession with crime and punishment. Dito, nakapaloob is yung mga kapulisya or mga pulis na inaabuso yung kapangyarihan nila. Ginagamit nila yung power nila para mang-abuso ng isang mamamayan o isang individual. Pang 13 is yung rampant cronyism and corruption. Dito, pinamamahalaan ito ng magkakaibigan, kaya yung sa government is magkakaibigan din sila, at kung dito sa na to is sa isang government ng fascist is karaniwan puro corruption. Mismong namumuno yung mga nangungurap o kumukuha ng pera sa isang bansa, sa gobyerno. Pang 14 is fraudulent elections. So, ayun nga, yung panghuli, nakapaloob doon is yung kinokontrol ang halalan o minamanipula nila yung isang halalan. Dito rin, gumagamit din sila ng dahas. Pumapatay din sila ng isang individual. At ganun din ay gumagamit din sila ng hudikatura. Yun lamang, maraming sila. Naway may natutunan kayo.
Harold Austria na BAPS 35. Ang i-discuss ko po ngayon ay kung kailan lumaganap ang Fascism. Paano nga ba lumaganap ang Fascism? Lumaganap ito noong unang digmaang pandaigdig at pinamunuan ito ni Mussolini. Si Mussolini ay gumawa ng isang political group na tinawag niyang PASI. Ngayon, bakit niya ginawa ang pasismo? Para mapamunuan ang lahat. At dapat ang mumuno dito ay isang diktador. Ngayon, noong January 24, 1915, ito ang kauna-unahang meeting ng kanyang political group na tinatawag ng PASI. Now, paano natapos ang Fascism? Natapos ang Fascism nung naaresto siya ni King Victorio Emmanuel noong July 25, 1943. Doon natapos yung Fascism niya.